Money is a terrible master, but an excellent servant. I would like to request Pranavesh sir to add his input on this quote.
Yeah, money. So actually, when I always say money is a funny monkey. If you chase it, it will keep eluding you. That is how it is. So wealth is something that you need to always create and save it off.
Good evening to one and all present here. I, Salita, and
Shruti,
the host for today's show, welcome you all to the presentation phase of the Battle of Great Minds Season 2, an initiative by L&D Global Mumbai and Connect Talks.
the Battle of Great Minds is brainchild initiative by L&D Global Mumbai and Connect Talks. It is the second season which has a thought process of mentoring the youth, millennials, and bring out the best talent in the society. We have an amazing panel of mentors with us today. Priya Mishra ma'am, Avni Bhatnagar ma'am, Sonu Bajaj sir, Pradeep Pardesi sir, and Kamal Jeswani sir. Now, let us meet a great manager, mentor, teacher, and guide.
The person inspiring us every day, every minute. Our captain, Mr. Pranavesh Shenoy, the chapter director of L&D Global Mumbai.
Yes, Neha, I will definitely explain to you what financial inclusion is. Financial inclusion is an effort to make everyday financial services available to the world population at a reasonable cost. When we talk about financial services, those mostly revolve under banks, loans, services related to insurance and health. The World Bank has estimated that there are about 1.7 billion adults worldwide who still lack access to a bank account. This poses a huge problem. The main reason being that from the point where the bank wants to support the end customer, there are several intermediaries that come in the process and take benefit of this opportunity, which makes the end customer not able to receive all the benefits. Because of which there is a gap. The rich becomes more richer and the poor becomes more poorer, which is why financial inclusion is very important. In fact, it is the key enabler to reducing the poverty and improving the prosperity of the nation. Apart from that, at an individual level, financial inclusion is very important as it helps individuals make daily payments, help them access to credit, and help them save their cash, which essentially means they're able to financially budget themselves for activities which are in the short period as well as activities in the long-term period like house loans, marriages, etc. Hey, how about we do a comparative study of financial inclusion between three countries, developing, developed, and underdeveloped countries? Sakshi, would you like to take it forward?
Yes, sure. So the point which I need to make here is after the definition of the financial inclusion, we are moving on to a practical aspect of this particular concept. That is, we are having a comparative study between the developed, developing, and underdeveloped nations. So this particular slide shows a research done by Reuters, which shows that the developed nation, that is US, has the highest literacy rates and they are having very low poverty rates. That means they need to work on their spending habits rather than working on the financial inclusions. But when we talk about the overall world, including underdeveloped nations and the developing nations, all these nations need to come up with some strategies which will focus on the concept of their needs and not the wants, so that every individual across the world gets his or her rights and the needs which are at the highest demand rather than the wants which the entire world is focusing today. I have given the overview of my two slides. Now, next slide, Neha, will you please explain it with respect to India?
Okay, sure, Sakshi. So let's just firstly know about the all financial inclusion, the figures and the rates and schemes in India. So in India, the literacy rate is 74.4%, and whereas the financial literacy rate is just 24%. Yes, just 24%. And the bank account holders is 80%, and the 2% is only people who invest in the market. So these are less number. So it is because of so many number, because various reasons like a poverty, population, and illiterate, most illiterate person in India. So here the question is, why this financial inclusion is so important in India? Yes, it is important in India because various reasons. Because India is in India there is a unbalanced situation in the poverty and financial state. So it's so important to understand this financial all the knowledge. So in second steps are taken by the government, like the no frill account, bank saving, bank deposit account, lead banking scheme, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, banking correspondence system. So all these are aimed to provide a balance and a benefit to the poor people, to upliftment their standard of living services. So we are now understand the one developed country, one developing country. So Aishwarya, would you like to introduce any underdeveloped country?
Sure, Neha. The underdeveloped country that we will discuss about today is of South Africa. In South Africa, as it's seen, the literacy rate is at 87% for the year 2017, and financial literacy rate is at 51%.
Hang on a sec, Aishwarya. Because literacy rate is so high, and even if it is so high, how come the literacy rate is so low?
That is a good question, Aditi. For that, let's discuss a few factors which is mentioned here. Number one is the opening of the bank account includes high levels of fees, especially for those of the lowest income segments. This is a contradicting statement. When they have low income, how are they able to going to be affording high fees for opening bank account? Secondly, there is significant use of cash and low bank account usage, which means they are mostly daily wage workers who take the money which they receive in cash and spend it then and there. Additionally, the saving levels are one of the lowest in the entire world, which means they typically do not plan for any financial budgets for the future, like marriage or house loans. They usually take care typically of immediate needs and necessities. In order to overcome these issues, some factors or some steps can be implemented. One of the steps is the people over there. Second is local agents can be launched. And third, banking, retail, telecom operators and NGOs can come in partnership to discuss this particular aspect and work towards tackling it in the forward. I hope your question about financial inclusion was clear, Neha.
Yes, of course, Aishwarya. I did get all meaningful insight on financial inclusion, but also I'm aware about fact that these numbers and services are not intended to reach the audiences. So, as a youth of the nation, I want to do for them. So, how can I do for them?
Well, Neha, as the youth of the nation and as someone who knows media, who studies media, I think you could very well create awareness about these. Also, if you have any house help, if you have any renovation work or construction work going on in your own home or in your vicinity, you could let those workers know. You could urge your friends to do the same. You could also do volunteer work for NGOs who work for the same cause, and not just us, but for everyone who is listening to this. The situation that novel coronavirus has
Just 1 minute left, guys.
is definitely going to cause a future economic crisis. The workers are barely being able to satisfy their daily needs right now, but they are not going to be able to survive in the long run. So somewhere we feel that it becomes our moral responsibility to at least ensure that the help that the government is providing, it reaches to the people it is intended for. Thank you so much for listening.
Hereby we come to an end to the second presentation of Journal 2. I hope you all enjoyed it.
That was an amazing session. Thank you everyone for attending it and making it successful. See you guys in the next episode.